Welcome to the bold analysis. When you make if you've been keen following different news outlets in this country, it's not a shocker to realize that leaders that were allied towards Azimio are actually in the limelight in what is seen as fight against corruption. But in real sense, there is a secret weapon that has emerged. The country and Azimio leaders have been asking, where is Peter Kenneth? And the main reason why Peter Kenneth has been silent is something that is coming out now clearly. The former presidential aspirant, who was until the last general election was pro-Azimio, and 3 companies, including a bank, are the latest high-profile individuals and entities caught up in ongoing tax crackdown by the KRA. And according to the Business Daily, they are saying that KRA is demanding more than 1.14 billion from shareholders of 3 companies, including Mr. Kenneth, for underpayment of tax paid on sale of shares. This story has emerged, and of course, I want us to be very objective here. There is a response. Yes, there is a response from Peter Kenneth in response to this, and that is what I want us to. That is what I want us to get. I think they had a response. Yes, they had a response on this. There is a response. Peter Kenneth, when contacted, said that the shareholders and KRA had since agreed on a payment plan to settle the tax liability and that they already paid the first installment. So, according to him, there is no cause for an alarm on the government side, on the KRA side, to look after, to sort out this case. And this is a matter that is now in court. 2 other Azimio leaders I want to draw. Charity Ngilu is currently in the newspapers and in the headlines over some corruption scandal, allegedly investigated, and Hassan Joho's farm that is linked to the cargo company in the coast also lost its autonomy to transport goods to Sudan exclusively. And those are some 2 latest developments that have emerged. Now, Peter Kenneth was a staunch Azimio leader, but after the elections, he's amongst the members of the team that took a low profile and was never in the limelight. Now, Ruto administration has been digging deeper on tax evaders to win government from excessive borrowing from foreign money markets. And that clearly is something that is in order. And I want to put a very personal disclaimer here. I will not be very truthful if I will be fighting the fight against corruption. I'll not be very truthful, because I think in my podcast in The Bold, I have maintained a number of times that what will resuscitate our economy is not exclusively how we are collecting the money, how much we are borrowing and how much we are collecting locally. What will resuscitate our economy is how we can choke the economy from pilferage, to ensure that we avoid pilferage and curb corruption. And tax evasion is amongst economic crimes in the country. However, I need to develop it and be also very truthful in the same measure, that you cannot fight corruption selectively. This has to come out clearly. You cannot fight corruption selectively because it emerges as a political tool, and so long as it is redesigned as a political tool, it fails to achieve the objective and you will realize that the proceeds doesn't then go for what the intended purpose. This is what I'm saying. As I speak, there are high-profile cases that have been dropped. And the high-profile cases were dropped exclusively because there is no denial, because the fellows behind those cases are sitting politically right, or rather are in the decision-making table. So that is why those cases are actually silent, or why those cases were dropped. As I speak, it is not a coincidence that only those who worked with the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, or rather, it is not a coincidence that it's only those who are around Azimio are the ones that are corrupt. We cannot have a society that way. If it is about corruption, and this is the whip, I've listened to William Ruto saying, the president saying, I was given rungu, I was given a sword, and I was given a panga, and I was given a Bible, a constitution in Kasarani, and I'll use it to wipe cartels. The truth of the matter, if you want to show tremor, to leave corruption lords trembling, is you must execute a high-profile case on your side. And the Mandagos is not one of them. It's not one of the high-profile. You must also arrest those within the system that are also behind corruption scandals. We cannot do it selectively. We've had scandals in the oil. We've had one in, not in the oil, in the edible oil importation. We've had scandals in the fertilizer aspect. We've had one that was dealing with the counterbound sugar. We have many. And we also have some cases of facing some governors, previous governors, that were also dropped. Then, if the tool is to help us solve the economic problem, it must be raised above political alienation. The KRA, for over years, it is a custom we have in our country that is often weaponized to control the political ecosystem. One of the things, and when you talk to civil servants, you'll always be told that kitu moja itafanya watu, someone will always want to sit in good books with government is because of KRA. Because that can always be used against you. At one point, you're either owning a company, or you're a shareholder in a company, or you're buying a land, or you have shares somewhere. You have an investment in this country. And every investment you have in this country must abide with the rules and the regulations of KRA. And that is why, by default, it is the house where everyone is normally targeted. Now, there are some four intentions with this push, or rather with this hunt, that from where I'm seated, I'm seeing. Peter Kenneth, being that he's a high-profile member, and was a man that was directly linked with Mount Kenya Foundation, it is a case, or rather it is a move to send a signal to Mount Kenya Foundation members who could probably still be leaning out of the system, who could not still be, maybe are still not with William Ruto. I have seen Chris Kirubi's in-law was picked as the chairperson of CBK, of course, high-profile lobby. I have seen Mwangi, who was the chairperson of Equity Bank, was picked at the VC of that Open University in the Konza City, and I think he has graced many events with President William Ruto. Clearly that he coiled back and now he's supporting William Ruto. Now, I honestly do understand that this Mount Kenya Foundation caucus it's a foundation that has political impact in terms of what is needed. And as William Ruto, in a bid to win off any competition, any serious political contest, it is under his obligation or under his thoughts to deal a blow to such a foundation that next time they're even on his side. So when the case of Peter Kenneth is highlighted and it comes out, it's already a signal that, look here, maybe it's coming for us. So that is one reason. Number two, Peter Kenneth himself, Ruto will still want to get him leaning to Kenya Kwanza. Why? For various reasons. Number one, Peter Kenneth comes from Murang'a. And in Murang'a, the leaders that were against Ruto, Mwengi wa Iria, has crossed over and is now in Azimio la Umoja. And as we speak now, Peter Kenneth is also a Mount Kenya politician, very high profile. What he will actually want, and with Rigathi Gachagua, is to lock Raila Odinga out of central Kenya. Remember the votes that Ruto, the difference between Ruto and Raila in the last general election, or let me not say Ruto and Raila, according to Chebukati, were around 200,000 votes. And Raila made huge strides in the mountain. Now, if Raila was to make the same effort, or rather Azimio was to make the same effort to win Mount Kenya votes in 2027, they stand the chance of gaining more because, number one, Uhuru Kenyatta is completely out of the picture. And again, there are also disgruntled voters who also see that William Ruto has not given them the option as he projected during campaigns. So as what would the government, what the system would actually want is a situation where Raila is completely locked out of Mount Kenya and doesn't get entry. Now, those still remaining that will give Raila Odinga entry, or rather Azimio entry in Mount Kenya, are still Peter Kenneth. So this is also a political move to make him be leaning to Kenya Kwanza. It's for other It's also for other various reasons. Now, the search for unpaid taxes, or the fight for corruption, has always also had another underground objective of soliciting for personal fortunes. Yes, these are billion deals which you tweak a bit, you trigger a bit, then people start fighting for survival, and in the fight for survival, people get personal fortunes. And this is what I've always seen. The state will come and explain the way they are fighting corruption and they've tried doing this and that. But what you'll not be told is about personal fortunes. So these cases always drag in court for long without even reaching the logical conclusion. Now, lastly, dragging leaders in court is normally a political rope hanging on people's neck. When you're dragged on court, you're tied. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. How that case will go this way, how case will go this way. So long as you have a case hanging in court, at appropriate time, there is a fire that can always be pulled and the case is triggered if you cannot be politically leaning. So that is my take, and I still want to insist that if the intention is about looking for tax evaders, it cannot be a coincidence that it's only those that pro-Azimio. If you execute it, non-partisan approach where it takes all, today it's Azimio, tomorrow it's Kenya Kwanza, it's the other person, it resuscitates, it actually achieves the objective, because no one will have to look at it with a political lens. But why we normally, analysts look at this with a political lens is because of selectiveness when actually pursuing corruption cases. Thank you.